What's going on, everyone? This is the Beanball Podcast, episode 4 of season 2. We're going to talk about the National League this week and some breaking news. We'll get into this much more. Let's get it started. What's going on, everyone? We are your host, Alan and Alan, and this is the Beanball Podcast.
What's up, everyone?
What's going on, man?
Not a whole bunch.
Appreciate the dinner.
Yeah, no problem. I was hoping to get some s'mores out, but it started raining on us. So
This good old Virginia weather.
Luckily, we got to get the grilling done, so that's good.
Yeah, so.
Anyways.
But we are less than a week away from baseball. Of course, recording this a little later than we wanted to. Of course, Wednesday when we usually record, it was my wife's birthday, and then next night truck troubles. So got to take care of that first. So,
but we're here.
We're
making it happen.
So let's get started. Unfortunately, we got to start with some sad news. If you haven't heard, the current Twins bench coach has passed away Friday from cancer. He was 46. He was a respected member of the baseball decorated family. He joined the Twin staff just before last season, following 13 years with the D-back organization. He helped guide the Twins to second straight course, the Central Championship last year, his first year as manager, right-hand man. So the Twins, last month that he was diagnosed with kidney cancer during the offseason. He underwent a procedure, but of course he wasn't with the Twins this spring. He spent his final months with his family in Arizona. And of course, the statement of the team, his death was stated by the loss of Mike Bell. In his short time in the club, Mike had a positive impact not only by the quality of our team on the field, but most important, upon everyone who he met. Widely respected in our game, who all knew Mike on and off the field. The Twins joined the baseball world mourning Mike's untimely passing. Our thoughts and best wishes are with his wife, Kelly, and his 3 children, Luke, Michaela, and Madeline, and the entire Bell family during this time. It's sad. At least it wasn't in spring training. Like, he was fighting it, and it's like you went to go wake him up, and at least they kind of knew that it probably wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Like you said, it seems like it happened pretty quickly.
Yeah,
from when he found out. Right,
had surgery, and then God.
I mean, yeah, he spent most of his playing careers in a minor league from I think '93 to 2005, and he coached 1 year.
And
it's just sad.
It is, 46, so young. Man, I can imagine. Then we go into our next topic.
Yeah, so the next thing I guess we're going to talk about is there's a lot of weird things going on. So not only, the coach passed away, but now we have a younger prospect for the Cubs who was caught with a bunch of drugs. He was a pitching prospect. Jesus Camargo was caught with 21 pounds of meth and over a pound of oxy in his equipment bag. Like, how stupid you got to be?
Yeah, but first, prospect, I was like, can't be a top guy if it's in Colorado, since, only AAA and Major League players were at spring training now. So he was getting ready to report.
Yeah, I think he pitched in high A in 2019. I don't even know if he played last year.
No, because he probably wasn't selected for the bubble.
Exactly.
But, he was first signed the minor league contract with the Cubs back in 2014. But, yeah, he was stopped on Interstate 70 in a silver BMW near the ski area. Saw a car speeding, drifting lanes, according to the cops. He was driving 2 other passengers. They interviewed him, not where the drugs. He told police he was going to Denver for the Teach Kid Baseball Clinic and claimed there was no drugs because he follows the Chicago Cubs anti-doping policy. Then told the police, so that he allowed them to search. And then, of course, they found the bag, with $1,000 in cash with a rubber band around it and his duffel bag. And then, of course, the drugs. They said CO. Apparently, he said he got it from a friend in Mexico, supposed to deliver it. He thought it was clothes, but then he said he knew there was probably drugs in there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, so to me, it seems like somebody picked
up paid $500 for this,
which is a lot worse. Think about it. You're in the minors, like you have a shot. I mean, granted, he's 25 years old and only playing in high A ball, so that's not great to start, but you still have that shot. It was a good chance he was either going to start there or Double A this season, but either way, you don't pick up this as a side business, even if it is.
I understand y'all probably didn't get paid last year, and stuff
I know
like that, but come on, I know $500 is, but for minor league guys, probably a lot, but not taking that risk.
It's crazy, man.
and especially acting a fool. And man,
Yeah, it's probably the last we're gonna hear of that guy.
Probably, most likely.
That's too bad.
It's unfortunately, it does shine a light, but like I said, minor league baseball is changing, the pay is changing, so hopefully risky stuff like this will not happen. But
then again, it probably will. It's just crazy to think of the opportunity that you had, and now you just blew it because of this. I mean, it's a dumb decision.
Yeah, very dumb. So speaking of some dumb stuff, security trolls the Astros at a spring training game. MLB fans, of course, are heading back to the parks, but they have not forgotten about the Astros cheating scandal. Of course, they're spared for most of the last year because no fans.
Yep.
So a lot of people were wondering how this year's going to go. Well, they got a little dose what they can expect for the next 162 games. What a time to be alive, Chandler Rome tweeted. A member of the ballpark security team at Roger Dean Stadium, wearing an official polo that says security in big letters on the back, just spent Alex Bregman's entire plate appearance banging on a trash can before every pitch. Bregman struck out looking.
That's amazing. And the fact that nobody stopped him is like, yeah, keep banging that trash can.
And one thing is like, that's their home park, I'm almost certain. That's the one they share with the Nationals. It's like, man.
I wonder how many pitches that was. I wonder how many.
I wish there was footage.
I know. Oh, man.
Like.
Somebody give that man a raise. He had security written all over his shirt or something.
The official, yeah, I got this. Oh, man.
I know that's not going to fly to the regular season, but that's so funny.
It is.
I wish I heard. Did we hear anything from Alex Bregman? Did he have any statement to make about it?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay, he just took it and was like, okay, that's what it's going to be.
Oh, it begins.
All right. Well, speaking of news in general, it seems like the injury bug is starting again.
Yeah, last year we saw a lot of pitchers because between the stop and then the summer camp, we real early right before the end of summer camp, we saw pitchers going down, people nagging with injuries. And since we're about a week away, it is starting to pile up, and there's some major injuries. So I got Mike Fiers from the A's. He'll begin the regular season on the injury list. The manager has stated that right-hander has slowed the spring back issue, his and later discomfort from his hip. Will be on the IL for the first time since 2008 when he was scheduled to throw a bullpen session Friday, and he still hasn't faced any hitters this spring.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, like you said, Fiers was the whistleblower
of the Astros.
Yeah, and we'd expect to see him this year. Another guy, there's a lot of injuries, like you said. I got Luke Voight and Justin Wilson of the Yankees.
Yep.
Voight's going to be out for at least the first month of the regular season.
Yeah, with the partial tear.
Yeah, exactly. And then, George Springer and Robbie Ray, the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Blue Jays got bad news the day. So
okay.
So the injury continued to pile up for the Blue Jays. On Wednesday, Biggio was scratching the lineup. You can see due to discomfort in his right pinky. Then Springer's dealing with a grade 2 oblique strain, but general manager believes that encouraging that this team's hopeful he might be ready for opening day. I think that's a stretch, but we'll see.
Robbie Ray bruised his elbow.
Was excited for spring, but bruised his elbow
falling down some stairs.
Yeah, slipped and fell carrying his child down the stairs.
Ah, man, that's tough.
The left-hander will miss the next spring start. Will not throw a bull session for a couple of days to test his elbow out. And then Yates underwent Tommy John surgery and will miss the season. So now they are without their closer for this season.
We had him pretty good this season,
too.
It's
like when I first saw all these injuries, I'm like, yo, Blue Jays, what y'all doing?
I mean, it's not terrible yet, but your closer, that's a big one.
Can you throw Vlad Jr. in a bubble? Make sure he doesn't get hurt? So the newly signed Jack Lee Bradley Jr. and Alonzo Cain from the Brewers are dealing with some injuries as well. Brentley, very late signing in spring. And then Cain, so Bentley has inflamed right wrist and Cain has a quad strain, are both questionable now for opening day. So they'll test the lineup. They're hope for the best. So this weekend they'll try to do some little testing. So that is very interesting, which is kind of a surprise. Red Sox lost their opening day starter. Eduardo Rodriguez had a dead arm, according to Alex Cora, and so apparently he pitched only 2 innings last start, which was Monday, and no velocity and effectiveness. He just didn't feel strong, so they pushed him for opening day. He didn't want to, but we made the decision for him.
Yeah, I mean, another big one is from the White Sox.
Yes.
Eloy Jimenez.
Went to rob a home run, and it's now going to cost him anywhere from 5 to 6 months for since.
He ruptured his left pectoral tendon. He's got to get surgery.
Yeah, surgery. The injury banged his shoulder.
I mean, that's a big one.
Trying to catch a home run from the Oakland's Sheen Murphy on Wednesday.
Another kind of big one is Nick Anderson of the Rays.
Yes.
He got partial tear ligament in his right elbow.
While surgery's not recommended yet,
he's still going to be out past the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
And who knows? And then you wait too long and still might have to get Tommy John or something by then.
Exactly. Who did that? What was it? Verlander, who thought he didn't need surgery at the time, and then he had to get it, or was it somebody else like that?
No, it's someone else.
You know what I'm talking about? They thought they were good, and then they ended up getting. Oh, was it for the Yankees? I can't remember now.
It was someone. I'm trying to think. Like they're stretching hope for, and then they ended up
having to get it anyways when they.
No, I think it was Verlander.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they tried the whole season hoping for the playoffs, and they finally said, "Oh, he's getting Tommy John."
When if he would have just done it the first time, he would have. I don't know, man. It just would have worked out better in his favor.
Yeah, and then Rangers. Chris Davis has grade 2 left quad strain. Will miss 3 to 4 weeks. According to the general manager, injury cord Venezuela running to first on a bunt signal during Tuesday's game. So,
and then a couple of small injuries. I don't think that these are huge, but the Nationals have Will Harris, Juan Soto, and Starlin Castro out.
Yeah.
But these are like minor. They're not like significant time loss.
Yeah, and then I think Tatis had a little injury scare. They pulled him, but so far everything's good. So you want to invest that $300 million investment you just did.
I agree.
So yeah, they're piling up. It's we're less than a week away. I think games, if I believe correctly, end on Tuesday so they can travel, and opening day is Thursday. It's like these players, I don't see like where some like I don't see George Springer making opening day. Like it's kind of hard a week away from a grade 2 strain. Like why push it? If he misses a week or two, it's whatever. I'd rather him miss a week or two than get re-hurt and miss a month.
Yeah, agreed.
All
right.
Yeah. So then we got to talk about your boy, Shohei Hotani.
Showtime.
He decided to be they let him be the starting pitcher, and he batted leadoff.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
This is the guy we've been waiting on since he got in the league back in 2018.
Right. And since 2018, he's been a little injury prone.
Yeah.
Now that he's finally healthy, do we finally get a chance to see the guy they've been calling the Japanese Babe Ruth?
The two-way proved that he can do just about anything on diamond. He started, of course, the Angels 4-1 loss, but he went 2 for 2 with a walk as the leadoff hitter, of course, like we just said, and while striking out 5 over 4 strong innings with his fastball reach 101.9.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like you said, he's been crushing the ball.
Yeah.
He's been throwing hard. 101.9.
At the plate so far this spring, he's batting .636. He's 14 for 22.
If he can carry this into the regular season, yes, there's something to be excited about. Him on the same team with Trout and Rendon. I'm just saying, man.
He faced the Padres, which pretty much was the everyday lineup. They had a majority in there. So not like it was a B squad. It was almost the starting lineup. So he said he's very excited to show what I can do, of course, through an interpreter. That's why I came here in 2018. I'm sure I disappointed a lot of people the last 2 years being hurt, but I'm looking forward to showing everyone what I am capable of doing.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's, like I said, if he can stay healthy and do what he's been doing preseason, I can't wait.
Yeah, like if he can keep this up, it's going to be a very, very interesting
We're going to be watching the highlights.
Yeah, because we're not staying up that damn late.
I'm just saying, we're going to be like, yeah, it's time to see something exciting. Especially when you're throwing 102 miles an hour. Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, wow, you're throwing heat, son.
All right.
So, and then next we're going to talk about this little memo that MLB has sent the teams.
Okay.
Warning that they're about to crack down on foreign substance on baseballs.
All right.
So, in an attempt to crack down on the use of foreign substance on baseballs this upcoming season, MLB is going to inspect balls taken out of play, analyze spin rate data, and increase monitoring of dugouts and clubhouses. So, the new policy is outlined by a memo obtained by ESPN that all 30 teams were spent the level of the playing field of hitters that increase the ball in play. Like we said, making the ball heavier, right?
Okay.
And stuff. So they're finding ways. So, each club was personally being reminded that it prohibited from assisting players in the dugout, and of course that's even club level employees and stuff So, if a pitcher's normal spin rate measured to, revolution per minute increases significantly, the league will investigate whether the player is doctoring balls. Balls will be taken out of play, both randomly and prioritized. If the exhibit signs a foreign substance, will be inspected by a third-party lab according to the memo. Balls will be tracked back to whoever is pitching when they are taken out of play.
So, I guess my question is, they're doing third-party testing. That's fine. And they're trying to find foreign substances. They're trying to make sure the game is played fair. Do you think this has anything to do with what the Astros did a couple years ago that they found out about? Like saying, oh, if you guys are cheating during this, maybe we need to start cracking down and see what other areas that people could be cheating at.
I think this is kind of all we talked about last year about the Angels player, the scapegoat.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people are saying this is a big memo and everyone's going to be watching Garrett Cole.
Okay.
Because remember, in the article that Angels, he said that he texted a guy, "We'll see you in May. Can I get some of that stuff?" Well, that year in May, he was pretty much undefeated after that series, and had a sub-1 ERA. He was like 19-0, and pretty much that got him his high dollar money. And then of course, was it opening day? The video of him touching the hat, and it kind of got stuck. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens this year with Garrett Cole if it changes.
I guess I'm wondering, yes, you say Garrett Cole, but is this a big issue? Like, is this happening more than we're being led on to believe? Because I know we've seen people call out a player that, was on a team, like one team, like say this guy played for a team and the team they're playing against him now, and he's like, hey, that guy cheats. I know he does, so let's test him. Yeah. Is this like a big issue? Like, are a lot of people cheating?
I think because the strikeouts are up.
Okay.
And a lot of people... I'm wondering if the Angels guy squealed. And remember that list where it included like Scherzer, Verlander, a lot of top guys who usually are top end of the strikeout range.
Well, also what I'm saying, the strikeouts are up, yes, but also the way batters approach the plate is different as well. They're all trying to get home runs. Mm-hmm. So it's all like Mark Reynolds. Either you hit a home run or you strike out. That could have something to do with it as well.
So if this dramatically, we'll see. It's going to be very interesting when they catch the first person, if it does happen.
Yeah,
because I want to see what are they going to spend it for one game, pretty much a week or whatever, or is it going to be a fine, a warning, what's because they've really said they said you will be disciplined. Like, what is disciplined? Is it going to be your choice?
Well, they better make an example, because if they just say, oh, you're going to be suspended for a series or whatever, it might not be enough to deter them unless they keep checking them constantly. But they're going to have to do something significant, I think. I'm not sure what, though.
Yeah, because the biggest thing, people whose spin rate dramatically increased was Garrett Cole's. Last year, Trevor Bauer's spin rate increased, which he have said, people were doctoring balls. I know. And suddenly, his spin rate increased, but he said he hasn't touched the ball because he's not believing that.
Ooh, wouldn't that be some crap if he did do it and DeGrom got denied because of that? Oh, my. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting to see exactly how the Powers is, but MLB has previously worked with Rollins on a tacker baseball in efforts to curb the foreign substance, but didn't get approval from the players to start this regular season. Instead, someone close to MLB is thinking with ESPN and MLB that they're the early stages of working to create a new stickier substance to rub on each baseball before the games instead of, the mud clay that has been used for hundreds of years.
So if they do come out with a tackier ball, then that would deter people from cheating because they already have a ball that's stickier.
Tackier,
exactly.
The weather, they're already changing the baseball in minor leagues that we talked about last week so people don't get hurt so they're trying to make it safer, and a lot of people are okay with them because they don't want to get beamed by 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the head.
They'd rather them have control over it. Yes, I agree.
So if it's some tackier, it's not clean cheap, it's more fair, then sure, I'm down for it.
I'm with it too.
So we are going to take a quick little break, and we're going to start with the National League and especially with the NL East. We'll be right back.
All right. So let's start talking about the National League East. The first team I want to talk about is the Atlanta Braves.
Man, this team, of course, they're the 3-time NL East defending champs. Of course, they won the division last year. They made it all the way to the NLCS, lose to Game 7, right, of the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've said this for years. We said this team is young. They're really good. We know they're going to be good for a while. They weren't too they didn't make too much noise in the offseason. They added a couple people, I think. The
biggest addition is Charlie Morton.
Exactly. So now that strengthens up their rotation a lot. And they're a great team, and they're deep. They got so much depth. So it's no surprise that a lot of people have them higher than the Mets, and they think they could win the division again because, like you said, they're already 3-time champs, and they're a good team.
Yeah, this is one of the best 4 teams in the National League, easily top 5 in MLB. the young core makes his team, with adding Morton to that rotation, with that young rotation, can only blossom that rotation even more. They also have the big keys. Of course, they got Ozuna back. They re-signed him. They added Jake Lamb to be the third baseman to help. So they are retooling. They're ready for another deep because, they probably should have beat the Dodgers the way they're playing, unfortunately, until their pitching kind of gave up a little bit in. And the biggest thing is they had Soroka for the playoffs. Remember, they're going to get Soroka back. So it's like you're getting their young ace back.
Yeah, as long as their pitching stays healthy, their team is pretty nice. I mean, it's a nice team. I like it.
And now they know that their rookie, Christian Passe, will be the center fielder no matter if he's struggling offensively or not.
Okay.
His defenses. So that means Acuna is going to go to right field.
Yeah.
Like you have you have options because they did lose Nick Markakis because he did retire, but that's about the only person they truly did lost.
Okay.
I think besides reliever, but teams retooled, ready to go.
They're going to pick up where they left off and just keep on trying to get better.
Yeah.
All right.
So the next is a very team that's close to our hearts, the New York Mets.
That's right.
They finished, of course, 26-34 last year, but the busiest offseason team by adding McCann, Carrasco, Lindor, Joey Lucchesi, Jonathan Villar, and then Taijuan Walker.
Oh, let's not forget Steve Cohen, the new owner.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a whole new team, new feel,
new owner, new team.
Everything, yes. And this is the team the Braves have to watch out for because this team could absolutely be on their heels and overtake this division.
Yeah. By adding one of the best players in the MLB, then adding a lot of depth to players. Of course, Carrasco is going to miss probably hopefully only a month of the season. But Joey Lucchesi had a great game today, so he most likely be the fifth starter since Cookie will miss a little bit of time. But very dangerous team. There's a reason why everyone's betting on the Mets.
Yeah.
Everyone's they're calling for 90 wins. If we do, it's gonna be kind of like last year with the Dodgers and Padres, where yes, one person's gonna have to be a wild card team, but they probably would be ahead of all the other teams
exactly
in the conference because of how well they do.
Exactly.
Really, if you look at the top two teams in this division, the top two teams in the West, it's very interesting. Those four.
Yeah, I mean the Mets definitely on paper look like a great solid team. They just have to execute. But if they can start, working together and they can get it, it's gonna be tough to beat them.
If Lindor stays hot like he's been this spring, Pete, they're coming in hot, and then
don't forget you got Michael Conforto and you got Jeff McNeil. You got a lot of guys that can do it.
And then the ridiculousness of what DeGrom has done this spring is just ridiculous.
Yeah, we got a 0.6 ERA or something right now.
0.6,
3-0. I think
second game out throwing 100 miles an hour. It's I'm already in midseason form. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with it. Let's do it.
It's it's kind of hard. I think Fox and stuff post the fan favorite to win NL Cy Young, DeGrom. No shit.
I'm thinking Subway Series, World Series rematch.
Could be be interesting.
That would be crazy, huh?
Yeah. So the next team we could talk about is the shocker of last year, the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, dude, the Marlins, man, what they did last season was nothing short of spectacular, especially since they started out with a bunch of COVID issues, right?
Yeah, so they finished 31-29 wild card. Of course, they lost to the Braves in the NLDS. But yeah, they had the outbreak. They were first. It was the opening weekend against Philly. Then next thing you know, Sunday after the game, it's COVID test. They stayed, I think, a week in Philly before they can do anything because that's when the first shift.
And even though the Marlins had such a crazy good year last year that nobody expected, everybody's still expecting them to do bad this year. They're expecting them to be at the bottom of the totem pole still.
I think because what they're thinking is that the young players did well in 60 games.
Okay.
Now, do these young players have enough to do a sophomore season and then do it for a whole 162?
The odds are against them.
Yes,
but I'm not counting them out. Even though I'm not
the
saying
rebuild's going on.
Right.
We can clearly see it.
I'm not saying this is the Orioles. I'm saying that this team could compete.
Yeah.
Now, will they? I don't know, but they have the potential.
Yeah, because you don't make the playoffs and then actually beat the Cubs to go on to the NLDS,
right?
And then go to suck the next year,
right?
They have their brand new GM and Kim. She's gonna do a great job, and she has a task to take this team to the next step. The young pieces did get up there a year early, So ultimately, they're probably making all the team, like the young pitchers and stuff.
Right. Their issue is they have some holes in their lineup, and they could probably strengthen up their pitching as well. But Derek Jeter's on the right track. I mean, they're doing it right.
Unfortunately, COVID made them jump a year ahead.
Exactly.
Because a lot of these guys were only in Double-A. They probably would stay in the bubble all last year if it wasn't for COVID outbreak. We probably would maybe see them sometime half of this year. So they probably would have sucked last year and then sucked this year. But we could have saw the promise at the end of the season. But Derek Jeter and them had to make some decisions, and we saw a year early. So this is kind of why you see this division is like the best division in baseball. A lot of people are saying because you have a young team of Marlins who made the playoffs. You see what Philly's done. We're about to talk about the Nationals. Of course, were the defending champs last year until injuries loaded up that team.
Yeah.
Mets, the hot team, and of course Atlanta, defending team. This is a hard division.
It really is. Like I said, I feel like the AL East and NL East are always the toughest divisions for some reason. But yeah, let's move on to the next team, the Philadelphia Phillies.
They were, I think, a game and a half out of the playoffs. It came down to the last game, just like the Giants we'll talk about a little bit. So they finished 28-32. They added Archie Bradley, Chase Anderson, Matt Moore. Of course, they re-signed JT Realmuto, Didi Gregorius. So
you know this team reminds me of? This team reminds me of the Mets. Their pitching just went to crap.
Yes, the bullpen.
Their bullpen was trash.
Trash.
Like
That's
dumpster
an
juice.
Understatement. The worst I think ever. A lot of people are saying like
I think
statistically.
they had the fourth most blown saves with 12, and their ERA was a 7.06.
Yeah.
You can't win that way.
Even the trade worked well for a week, and then they went to shit.
It's just, you just really can't win that way. And I don't know, man.
So hopefully, Archie Bradley and like Chase Anderson, they hope they got some new bullpen pieces. They got their catcher back, So year 2 of Joe Garley, it's like, what are you going to do this team? Now you got JT back. You have Harper, which was doing good.
Yeah, but you can't do it alone.
So you did have a runner-up rookie of the year. You have their third baseman.
They have the tools to make the playoffs. But like you said, they're in a tough division, and their bullpen needs to get strengthened. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And then last in this division, not least, we have the Washington Nationals.
Right. Almost forgot about last year because their season was so and they lost a lot of their big players after they won the World Series.
Had a great year.
Exactly.
Literally, I think one start they got out of Strasburg because of his wrist injury, because of short season. Of course, he was pretty much done. A lot of holes they missing because, Zimmerman decided not to play. But
they did some moves.
They
moves
added
I like.
some. Yes.
Kyle Schwarber, for example.
Kyle Schwarber in the outfield, Brad Hand in the bullpen, John Lester in the back end of the rotation, and then getting Josh Bell.
Yes, that's big.
That was big. I was like, I knew, I called it, I think, last year. I think I said this all season, I think Pirates are going to have to move Josh Bell. They're rebuilding. I think he has 2 years left on his rookie deal before he become a free agent. It's like this time to get something. So now, and I did not see the Nationals pulling the trigger for him.
Well, they got a young team that's good. They just won the World Series. They got to make moves to stay relevant. They can't just fall off, especially if they're going to keep Juan Soto on the squad. It's like you're not going to keep these really good players up there if you're just going to be mediocre.
Yeah.
So they decided, hey, this is the time to act. We already won. We know what we have to do. Let's try to repeat. So I feel like they want to contend. Mm-hmm. They could contend, but they're in a tough division, and I don't know if they will.
And I think Ari Strasburg already left the game with an injury.
Exactly. You
Scherzer
can't have
got
that.
lit up by the Mets.
Your pitching has to be tough.
Yes.
That's the one thing I can say. Like, yes, hitting's going to be there up and down, but your pitching has to be there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Especially you got to be within the game. If your starter's giving up and you're going to the bullpen early, and you
can't
don't
go
have
on
a strong
slump.
bullpen.
No.
So that is it of the NL East. Now we're going to talk about the NL Central, starting with the Cincinnati Reds.
All right, the Reds. We kind of liked them last year. At least we thought we were going to like them.
Well, at least the core is still together. They're 31-29. They lost to the Braves in the wild card round, getting swept. They lost their ace. Bauer has left.
Yeah, and that was their big opponent.
Now will Castillo step up? Will the lineup stay consistent? Because that was the biggest thing with them. They were hot, like they were getting good. Then they had like the slumps.
Yep.
They could have easily probably won that division because it was up for the taking. But, 162 games is going to be the test for this lineup now.
And it's a big test because their pitching is getting disassembled. Like, they lost Bauer. Their pitching is already, rocky as it starts, and their bullpen's not the greatest. I don't know, man. I feel like they're not set up to win right now. I feel like they're set up to fall short.
Yeah, it's like, so if they start falling short, it's like, are they going to start selling some of the stars?
Probably.
because this is not a big team. You talk Cincinnati Reds, small market.
Yeah.
So if they're going to lose, they're not going to keep losing money. They're going to want to rebuild and get ready.
I feel like they're in a rebuild mode. I'm not sure yet.
I think they can contend, and we'll see by All-Star break.
Yeah,
if they
absolutely.
And then then it'll be trade they're going to be buyers or sellers.
All right.
There's a good chance they might be sellers.
All right. Well, let's talk about another club. Let's talk about the Cubs.
This team, I think, is selling on the you traded your runner-up for Cy Young. It means I feel like are you giving up? You lost John Lesnar. You finished 34-26. You won the division, but you lost to the Miami Marlins in the wild card round.
Well, like you said, they lost Lester, but they also lost Schwarber.
Yep.
And they got rid of Darvish. Who do they have?
They added Jock Peterson for outfield.
Chris Bryant, who already doesn't like the situation he's in.
And then added Trevor Williams. But yeah, this could be the last ride for the Cubs because you think about it, their big three infielders all hit free agency this offseason. You got Bryant, you got Rizzo, and you got Baez.
And we kind of said this last year. We thought last year might have been their last hurrah.
Will be the last hurrah because they're all approaching free agency.
Either way, we're both agreeing that they're kind of on the downward trend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to keep this group together because, like I said, Chris Bryant was already trying to
I feel
go
like
after them.
Of the three, Baez, I think he wants to stay, and I think they're willing to stay because, shortstops are very hard to come by. So if you're going to lock anyone up, I feel like it's going to be him.
I think the best thing this team's got going for them is their coach.
Yeah. Year two.
Old man doing it.
And then re-sign Jake Arrieta.
Yeah.
For the back end, you're kind of replacing Lesnar, but I think they overpaid for him.
Yeah.
But this is a very interesting team. Like you said, this could be a seller. Yes, you added one of the better bullpen pieces in Trevor Williams this offseason, but if your starters don't last long, you're going to eat up the bullpen.
And I think they're fine with that because they've already gotten their World Series. They broke the curse. They know what it's like to. They already know they're going to have fans, even though they're terrible for 100 years. I think they're okay with wherever they settle right now. I don't know if they might be sellers.
Yeah, I think they might That's why everyone was really surprised Bryant didn't get traded this offseason.
Exactly.
I feel like he will get traded at some point, especially if they're nowhere near. And then Rizzo could be another trade piece too. Could he be moved, or are they just gonna let him walk? It's gonna be interesting to watch this offseason with this team.
Yeah, I mean they might be sellers, but like you said, at the same time, I do think they're in a position where they do want to compete and win. So yeah. Maybe they're in a little bit of rebuild mode. Maybe
because you can easily say this is probably one of the weakest division, especially weakest division in NL.
But it's one thing to win the division, but you still got to be able to compete in the postseason.
Yeah. So, but it's gonna be interesting. So next team we're going to talk about is the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, they finished 29-31, but they made the wild card, but of course lost to the Dodgers in the wild card round.
Yeah.
But they added some Colton Wong, Brett Anderson, and of course Jackie Bradley Jr. that we talked about is going to miss some time for them.
Right. So they want to get better.
So this is 3 straight years now making the playoffs.
Okay.
Of course, the first year when they got Yelich MVP, they got to the CS and lost to the Dodgers. Then the next year they lost the wildcard game to the Nationals, which ended up being the World Series champs.
Yeah.
And unfortunately they probably should have beat them.
Should have,
if it wasn't for Yelich being injured and they had someone else in right field that made the messed up play.
They should have made that catch. You're a pro. Oh my God, I can't get over that.
So the team has added some key players. Could this make a threat for the division? Easily, because you have the rookie of the year in Devin Williams. That bullpen was locked down, especially when he came out. They have some nice starters that can put together.
And they got Keston Hira.
They did lose Ryan Braun, so he's gone from left field. So, but that's where Kane's going to be put in now, since you do have Jackie Bradley in center now.
Well, like I said, I think their team's pretty straight solid. Their field players are.
Yeah.
Their issue is like most other teams is pitching.
Yeah, it's pitching if you have that question mark, you can be good or you can be bad. It's what guys are you getting?
Do you have guys that are stepping up from the minors?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you got to have a solid.
Remember, they had a Cy Young candidate.
Yeah.
There, he short games. He started relieving, but once he became a starter, he was lights out. Then you had your rookie, like I said, Devin Williams, that gave up 1 run the whole season.
So I feel like this team, if they're competing, which they should be, they're gonna be buyers.
Yeah.
They're gonna be trying to get better by All-Star break.
If a starting pitcher, I can easily see them go out and grab.
Yeah.
So
maybe another guy in the pen. I'm just saying that these guys are a couple pieces away from being contenders. I expect them to compete enough to where they need to buy, and then see where they can go from there this season.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
This next team, I really didn't write nothing down because I think there's nothing nice to talk about.
You don't want to talk. All right, so the Pittsburgh Pirates. We already know that they haven't done anything in I don't know.
They were
a decade.
1941 last year. Like, come on.
I expect them to still be in the rebuild mode. They've been.
The best thing that they're gonna have for them this year, guys, is they might get a Rookie of the Year from one of their young guys. That's about it.
It's sad because the last time they were exciting was when they still had McCutchen on the team, I think.
Yeah, and then they traded him away because they had Austin Meadows, the future, and then they gave up on him a year later, shipped him to Tampa Bay, and he became an all-star.
Yeah, we're going to save you guys some airtime. We're not even going to talk about the Pirates because there's nothing to say.
They're 2-3 years away from us talking about them.
Yeah, there's
they have
nothing
a bunch
to say
of young,
them.
great guys. They traded their pieces they had this offseason to get more prospects. They're doing it smart. But I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. It's going to be a long year. You probably get tickets for cheap, depending on how many people are allowed in that stadium.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. So the next team is the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, they finished 30-28. But you have a W in this offseason if you get $50 million and Nolan Arenado in a trade.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. What the heck? How is that even possible? Like, how y'all let that happen?
Yeah, when you had one of the best not shortstop, but third baseman in baseball, and you got to keep most of your young top prospects.
Right.
And you got $50 million to help pay for him?
I mean,
that's a dub.
Granted, he's past his super prime.
Yeah.
But he's still good.
Yeah,
he's still one of the best third basemen.
And, of course, now the question mark is where it's like, okay, look, he's not in Colorado, so will he hit the same? He's comfortable. He is happy to be in his organization. This could be a team. Of course, I wasn't sure what they were thinking about letting Colton Wong walk.
Exactly.
When they didn't pick up his option or declined it or released him or whatever it was.
I mean, like I said, the team I like the team. I like Jack Flaherty, but I think Jack needs some more help. Yeah. It's another thing. Like all these teams, they're like a couple pitchers away from being super solid.
The biggest thing, if you see like the Dodgers and stuff, is the pitching depth. That's what happened with the Nationals in 2019. They had depth and the bullpen worked out.
Yeah.
Dodgers, same thing. You had starters there coming out of the bullpen, which especially when we'll talk about when they signed Bauer, it's like you already had 6 people going for 5 spots. Now you add Bauer. It's a good thing to have a problem like that.
It is. And the Mets had problems like that too. It's just that the
injuries
pitchers
real quick.
Exactly, yeah. They had a problem and then it became more of a problem.
Yeah, because like, okay, we're going to possibly go 6-man rotation. And
now we can't even get
2 injuries later. Like, we need a pitcher.
We need a pitcher, exactly. But
yeah.
Speaking of that.
But, Cardinals, they're going to be strong. I feel like they're in it every year.
They're going to compete.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're
going to be buyers. They need a pitcher. I don't know what they need. They need something.
Yeah.
All right.
So we are done with the NL Central. Now we're going to get into the NL West.
All right. Well, let's start with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. 25-35. The only key person they added was Jabril Cabrera, and that's mostly of a bench player. I could see some first base action and, third base. He's the all-around guy. But, the rebuild's going. I think they could be still a year away. The biggest factor, like we just talked about, is pitching. They have a bunch of young core guys in the infield, catcher, outfield, but the pitching is the question mark because, yes, you said Mad Bum a couple years ago. They actually just lost their future ace because he was hitting and had a stress fracture on his forearm, so now he can't pitch probably for a month.
Jeez.
So this is another big thing. Is like, why don't they? This is a clear reason why the DH is needed.
Exactly, because
these guys getting.
We know these guys are
just
specialty
swinging
players.
the bat.
That's what I'm saying.
He broke his arm. Now you're losing this pitcher. Now
that's what I'm saying. Pitchers need to focus on one thing: pitching. You're not going to see. I don't even know how to compare it to another sport, but I'm just saying, like for example, you're not going to see Tom Brady out there catching the ball. He purely throws it to people. Come on.
If you remember Tom Brady trying to catch the ball, it was terrible looking.
Yeah.
That one Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But the Diamondbacks, other than Christian Walker, I feel like they're just a subpar team. They're going to be okay. They're not going to make any splashes.
Guys, they haven't came together yet.
It's going to be more exciting than watching the Pirates.
We thought they had uptick because remember they just missed the playoffs 2 seasons ago, but then the 60-game season, they didn't put it together. So
maybe they'll surprise us.
They could. They could.
Surprise us. I'm not counting them out, but I'm not counting them in either.
Yeah, especially in this division, unfortunately.
Exactly. All right.
Well, Rockies, sorry you didn't add no one this offseason.
And you
traded away
lost
your best player and $50 million
for nothing. Yeah. You gave them. I don't even know what to say about that.
And then I don't know what you're thinking about the players you selected for this trade. I know a lot of people, especially Colorado fans, are boycotting. They're ready to trade teams. They're giving up because they feel like every time they make the wild card and make a run, and
They
then
just
it's like
give up on
they
their
give up
team.
the next season.
It's crazy. Why would they do that?
It's like they don't have
They have
money
a
or
they have a
something.
trash rotation. Their lineup's not getting better. It's getting worse every time because, like you said, they're giving everybody away. I don't know what they need to do. Maybe they need to get new ownership. Maybe they need to hit the reset button. Maybe they need to do something. But there needs to be life brought into this camp, and there's not.
So of course, Trevor Story. If they believe in him, they're gonna try to sign him and build around him. So your other guys, like, do you want to trade like Charlie Blackmon and stuff? Like, I think it's gonna happen, but they're older guys. Like, what are you gonna get from them? Not much. And then of course the factor of everyone like, I'm not trying to give you too much because I don't know what kind of player he's gonna be in my ballpark instead of your ballpark.
Well, was it a couple years ago when they signed Arenado and they just lost the excitement after the
2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they had the chance to do
I
something.
was real surprised when he signed it, and I bet he regrets it now. But now he's happy where he's at.
But that's what I'm saying. That if that's what the organization is, then there's nothing to be excited about.
So if you're Trevor Story, do you want to sign?
No, it depends on the contract. I don't know.
I'd rather go test free agency.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
Yeah, well, sorry, Colorado Rocky fans. We feel you're paying us Mets fans, but I don't know what to say. I mean, you guys are right there next to the Orioles and the Pirates right now.
Yeah. Man,
All right.
Well, before we get into these next 2-3 teams, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back, and I think we are starting right off with the defending World Series champions, the LA Dodgers.
I mean, what more can we say? This team is full of studs, and they just got better in the offseason.
Yeah, they finished 43-14. They won the World Series in 6 games. And, of course, they added the biggest weapon of all, the defending Cy Young winner, and Trevor Bauer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, hopefully he gets better than giving up home runs with one eye open or whatever's going on with that. But like you said, they just got better.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
When you had a top 5 rotation before adding the Cy Young winner.
Yes. Now you are the top 5.
Yeah, you're like, okay, you're the guy. Like,
Yeah.
okay. It's like, who do you want? Okay, we'll send out Clay Shaw, Walker Buehler, Bauer.
Yeah, pick your poison is basically. This rotation is like you're getting an ace every day.
Yeah, think about when you get to the playoffs against this team.
Yeah,
if
you're
these
in
3
trouble.
people are healthy, you're facing an ace every night.
Every night.
Because they can go short rest because Bauer likes to go on short rest. Walker is young and Clayton is always down to come out, as we've seen in the past. So,
and then you got 2 MVP guys on your team in your lineup with Mookie Betts and Bellinger. I mean, it's just nuts.
And of course, you can't forget about World Series MVP Corey Seager.
Exactly.
Had a breakout year. Everyone believes that he could put that together this season. Because if I believe correctly, it's a contract year for him. So he even gets more value to try to ball out this year to be the MVP this year for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can say about the Dodgers except for they are undoubtedly the best team right now.
And you think about it, and you think about organization too, because they have one of the best farm system. They keep trading players away, but yet still have a top 5 farm system. Because you got Gavin Lux is going to be playing this year, which is a highly scouted, rookie of the year candidate. Like, and then you have Dustin May, saw the potential in the playoffs.
I like that guy.
He was supposed to be probably the 5th starter. Now you got Bauer. It's like, what do you do with him?
Make him a closer.
It's like and I think they're all comfortable. Like, look, come out the bullpen for now. We'll get you eventually in there.
Yeah, they got to be comfortable because with the way the team is right now, I mean, you're competing for a World Series win the next 2 to 3 years easily.
Yeah, what is it? You've made the World Series now, 3 times in 5 years or something like that? Because they lost in 17, they lost in 18, 19, they lost to the Nationals, they won last year. So ultimately, they lost to the World Series champions, then they finally won 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 3 to the eventual champions, and then they finally won. They were the champions. That's an organization level that everyone wants. That's exactly what Coleman and the Mets said they want to be. That they don't want to compete 1 year. They want to compete every year because.
Yeah, and they got Justin Turner back too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, everybody on the team is solid.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like, they're just good, and they're going to be good. They're going to be the toughest competition. Like, if the Mets, San Diego, anybody needs to get there, they're going to have to go through the best team in the game right now, the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to beat them. It's tough.
Yeah, and if they stay healthy, it's kind of hard not to bet against them.
Exactly.
To repeat, which we haven't had a repeat winner since the Yankees in the late 90s.
And if we were to have a repeat team, I can absolutely believe it if you told me it was going to be the Dodgers. I would say yes, that's a good chance, good possibility.
Yeah. Because when you're at least going to the World Series or at least getting to the NLCS every year, you're a solid team.
Right. So,
baseball's weird, but
yeah, Dodgers fans, they got something to love over there. Maybe the Angels will take some notes from you guys and figure it out themselves, but Dodgers are really good. They're the best team right now.
Well, this next team, want to say a little something.
Yeah.
San Diego Padres, or you might call them Slam Diego, finished 37-23, but of course they lost to the Dodgers in the NLDS. Unfortunately, they lost their pitcher that they traded for last year during that series, but they retooled this offseason.
Yeah. I
mean, understatement.
So, and we liked them last season before the season started. Yeah. We thought they had potential.
So, when they lost Clevenger, it's like, damn, that sucks. A year without Clevenger, what are you going to do? You need to probably replace him for a year. Well, we're going to take Clevenger. We're going to replace him with 2 pitchers.
Oh, and they're also going to a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, because they added so many pitchers.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have enough depth to feel confident in a 6-man rotation when your team is undoubtedly one of the best, I mean, that's something to think about because you got a lot of weapons.
Well, yeah, it's a good thing to have. So, when they added Blake Snell, Darvish, and that was at, I think, 48-hour window, like they back-to-back, I'm like, this is when, of course, this is the offseason was crickets. And suddenly...
Well, this is what's going to make the West a fun division to watch because these two teams, the Dodgers and San Diego Padres, they're going to go neck to neck. And the Padres are building a team to compete and or beat the Dodgers. That's what they're doing.
Until last year, everyone was questioning the GM's thought process. Everyone's like, if he don't do nothing this year, he's probably gone. Because, all the money he was spending and stuff. Well, it finally came together. Then they made moves this offseason to add Blake Snell and Darvish. Then they also add Joe Musgrove. And then they signed the KBO star, Shin Kim.
Oh, yeah.
Which everyone was kind of confused at first because he's a shortstop, but he's going to be playing outfield. They have options.
They do.
Young options, pitching options.
And they still got a good farm system.
They do.
So if they need somebody to replace somebody, they can bring somebody up who can compete.
And the people they traded away for Snell and Darvish wasn't that much.
Right. And let's not forget, they still got Manny Machado, who's finding his fountain of youth again. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Scary team. If they can stay healthy, this is going to be a very scary team to watch.
Definitely a great team to watch. I like watching Padres games, man.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see how they do this. Especially, we'll see a month out and see how they're doing.
Well, like you said, they're here for the long run. I mean, think about it. What they did with Tatis, what was that, 14 years?
Yeah. It's insane. So, we're going to keep an eye on this. I can't wait for the first time Dodgers and them play a series. See what pitching, who goes against each other. Man, I hope it's 1, 2, 3 that weekend. Like, all their top 3 versus their top 3.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be an awesome lineup. So, the last and final team of the National League we get to talk about is the San Francisco Giants.
The Giants, man. What can I say? Mike Yaz. They were pretty fun to watch last year. They had a little run. They were trying to make some noise. I don't know how they're going to do in this division because, like I said, it's just a bad division to be in if you're not the Padres or the Dodgers.
Yeah. Giants unfortunately fell a strikeout short of the playoffs last year. They added Alice Wood, Tommy La Stella. They added to a vet, but pitching's the question with them. Is Kevin Gausman is going to put up another solid year? He took the qualifying offers back because he had one good year. Can he make it 2 years in a row and also a full season? But year 2 of Glade Kelper, mixing the young and the vets is making another run. Could possibly. They do have Buster Posey back this year since he opted out last year. But
that's not enough to make a difference.
He's not going to be behind the plate a lot. I see him possibly playing a little bit first base too. They have their top prospects catcher could be up sometime this year.
I think these guys are going to be a little bit mediocre. I don't know if they're not going to make the playoffs in my opinion.
And without the expanded playoffs, only 5 teams, it's going to make it harder. So you got to be above what you were last year.
No, the two
Giants, I don't see it happening.
No, the 2 teams coming out here, Dodgers and Padres.
Yeah.
That's it.
And unfortunately, one's got to be in a winner-take-all game.
Exactly.
Same thing I feel like with the NL East. It's like whoever wins that division, the other is going to be in a do-or-die game, most likely against either the Dodgers or the Padres.
Oof. That's going to be tough.
Yeah. Man. But speaking of that, I can say next week, later this week's episode, the opening day special, we're going to record on Wednesday night, so we'll try to get it out as soon as possible, but we're going to do our prediction show. We're gonna what records we're going to see, who's going to win the division, who's going to win the World Series, who's going to win the Cy Young, MVP. We're going to do all that and more on our next episode. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.